Hi guys, this is Benjamin Breaker Novotny, and I'm bringing you guys yet another cast. I was just digging through some old replays, yet again, on my downloads folder, and I found these, and it just, oopsie. I just thought these are some old games that need some casting, so, as far as I know, I can't tell if anyone's ever casted them and then uploaded them directly to YouTube. I want to give a huge shout out to Llewellys for actually giving me the replays. I actually didn't remember him doing this, but it was a great help. It was great working with the MSI team on this, and I just thought this is one of those old games that was worth uploading and casting. Here in the upper right hand corner we do have GamaniaSen as our Zerg in the blue trunks. And in the lower left hand corner, if I recall correctly, our Protoss in the red trunks is none other than Incredible Miracle Seed. The only logical deduction I could come to that would indicate he is Seed is the fact that I just casted his teammate IMSeed and I uploaded that video to YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, could you guys go ahead and click on the follow button? It's right about here-ish where I'm hovering my mouse. Be doing me a lot of good by doing that. Seed goes to the northern position and can see that there is no creep there, just basically a dead giveaway that his Zerg opponent is not spawning there. And he is going for the Forge Fast Expand opening. Now, alright, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I was about to actually say spoiler alert and then blah 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 about the tournament, this particular competition that Sen was in, but I'd rather not. So, here we go. Sen throwing down his spawning pool. It looks like it went down at 14, maybe 15 supply. Interesting location to put it there. Maybe he's just trying to give his Protoss opponent a sort of face check, just saying, hey man, yeah, it's that spawning pool. You don't want to screw with me. And wow, just in the nick of time, he throws down that hatchery and keeps the probe from getting a block. And speaking of hatchery, we have a second expo going down, excuse me, an expo going down for our Protoss at the natural, just as it should be. Now, hold on, I do apologize. I need to correct something real quick. Before we go any further, what happened was I ran into some kind of error. I ended up deleting my variables text, and let me look for the game timer. Here we go. It has just been resumed. All right, there we go. So 3 minutes, 15 seconds, very normal time in game. And I don't know why you wouldn't exactly have the game timer turned off. I don't think it takes up any additional space or works against you. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there's some pro gamers that play without it because they might think it's a little distracting. But we do have 4 lings out on the map. I'm wondering where the first 2 are. Ah, here we go. 3 lings right here. I guess one of them is just going out here. Okay, this is a bit of what we call the lazy ling. It actually needs to be moving around, just making sure there's no pylons out over in this direction. But it's alright. He also needs to make sure that there's no pylons right here ready to throw down some proxy timing cannons. And speaking of cannons, one of them does scare away a Zergling that just waltzed up the ramp. There it is. 2 lings catch onto the probe that sees the third. And of course, this is not mind games. Let's see when this went down. Let me see. 35 seconds ago. That means 4 minutes and 5 seconds it went down. Very standard and quite mechanical for our Zerg. Perfectly normal. I do apologize. It's just that Skype sound. It's the most annoying sound on the planet. Not, of course, the Zerg screech that you just heard, but I do just want to iterate that a lot of times I get a lot of blank messages or messages that have little to do with me on Skype. And thus far we have the makings of a very standard ZVP, I believe. Now the reason why I thought this was a seed is because, of course, I remember casting first in this tournament, and I can only remember that there were 3 Protosses, 2 from Korea, 1 from China. So unless we have LoveCD playing on an account with Korean text written in it, then I don't believe this is the actual LoveCD. Now, one thing that might be playing a few mind games with Seed right now is the fact that he's only seen the hatch. He hasn't seen anything else. And that first probe that probe he just sent out there, that got killed at the ramp. Basically, you know, for all he know, it could have been canceled, and there could have been a Nidus Canal thrown down. Mind games. Again. But of course, that's perfectly alright. We don't really have a lot of mind games going down in this game. Zealot does see the creep there, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So basically that's verified that our Zerg has expoed. Our favorite Zerg from Taiwan, excuse me, has expoed. And ooh, who's going to live? Oh, looks like the Lings took down the Zealot. I thought he was actually going to lose this Zergling. Ground weapons, level 1, just now finishing up for Protoss. One of those things that really confuses me and throws me off about Protoss weapon upgrades is like level 1, you see a bunch of red text highlighting it, or at least it seems to have this red appeal to me. Just maybe there's nothing to it whatsoever. But of course, level 1 Zerg upgrades for flyers or melee or missile attacks are all highlighted in green. And level 2 for Protoss is highlighted in green, and level 3 for Protoss is highlighted in blue. And of course, we have a very big macro game on the way for our Protoss player. He's actually going for his 3rd right now. Throwing down a couple of extra gateways right here, and let's see what we have all together. I think going into Blink Stalker play from here would not be a bad idea. Oh, there we go. Just as I say it, Twilight Council goes down. So does the Forge, the second Forge, excuse me. So we're going to see a lot of gateway units getting cranked out in the next few minutes. At least when we see Seed, assuming this is actually Seed, ready for his attack. Double Spine Crawlers going down right here. I think that's a bit of an interesting location to put them. But of course, Sen looks like had one blue dot that was moving slower than the rest. It allowed me to easily classify it as a drone heading out to put down the 4th base at 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Now, Sen does have map control. Don't make a mistake on that statement. But interestingly enough, he leaves one Zergling up here. What you have to keep in mind is that his map control is relatively weak right now. Well, no. His units that are controlling the map are relatively weak. They're pretty squishy. And, ooh! Looks like none of those Lings were actually trapped by the force fields, but at this stage in the game, I feel those force fields are no big loss. Now, the reason why I chose to cast this game above all else was because I saw that it was actually a full megabyte in size at the very least, signaling to me that we had a fairly lengthy macro game going. I just can't remember how exactly the game unfolded. So, basically that's another reason why I chose this game. It's a very long macro game. Overlord's getting spread out all over the map. And Sen just having excellent vision and excellent map control right now. This is just a beautiful... This is working amazingly in his favor. Blink about halfway done. +2/+2 on the way for Protoss. And Blink Stalker is now building up. Of course, right now we have Lings. The Spire is only just now getting on the way, but it's okay because it's actually going to be out at the same time as the Hive, which means as soon as the Spire is finished, the Greater Spire will get started. There's a few too many workers on the main. The natural is a few too few. 3rd few too many, and it looks like Sen is aiming to get some, at least I think, some kind of vision out here. It's hard to say. I think maybe Sen was a little confused by this one squiggly movement across the map. It's actually an observer, not a DT. And Sen already at 12 minutes and 3 seconds actually putting down some overlords and spreading creep at the proper locations. He sees what his opponent is doing. He knows that there's going to be a heavy concentration on gateway units, at least thus far. So I think it might be a dead giveaway to him that he's going to be facing a mostly Blink Stalker army. Now he does have Lings accompanying his Infestors. And as long as he continues to crank out Lings and Infestors, he'll do what seems okay versus the current composition that we have from Protoss. But keep in mind that soon he's going to have the ability to produce, and by he, I mean Seed, he's going to have the ability to produce some High Templars, which do feedback, as well as Psystorm, both of which are good against Infestors and Lings. Interesting. Sen's got a Ling on patrol here. No creep spread here. And the thing is, I tend to think that as a Zerg player, if I'm not attacking and I'm not teching up and I'm not using up all of my resources, then I need to throw down some more hatchery. So in Sen's position, maybe what I would do is throw down a hatch here, hatch here, hatch here, and just say, I doesn't afraid of anything. Anywho, +2 almost finished for Sen. Changelings over here getting picked out, and he can see what he's up against perfectly now. So he knows that it's mostly a gateway unit-based army that he's facing up against. I'm not sure if this is the best decision for this map, especially given the fact that it's meant for a macro game, and macro games are the perfect kinds of games to throw out Broodlords, which are now on the way for being produced somewhere. But where in the ever-loving heck are they? Ling's getting thrown into the mix again. Broodlords right here. Ah, here they are. I heard them. I couldn't see them. I guess he's just waiting for more supply to get cleared up. No, he's just not quite. I don't know what's going on. Okay, he's actually the one thing that's bottlenecking his Broodlord production right now would have to be his minerals. See, that's just absolutely beautiful macro score right there, guys. Now, one thing that I do like about Seed is that he's keeping his opponent in the dark, but everything that he's doing right now will definitely not work in his favor. If he can pull Sen in a different direction for just a moment, which is what he has done, he's going to move right into the Spinecrawler wall. And I don't know if this is a good engagement for him. He's definitely blinked into some Stalkers, or he's blinked some Stalkers into Broodlords. He's caught them off guard in a position where Spinecrawlers cannot get at them, but there's just so much Zerg here already. There's Spinecrawlers pretty much at every inch that isn't but in this little crevice right here, and everything that we just saw from Seed just got vaporized. Now I'm wondering if he has a tech switch behind this that I forgot to look at, but right now he's got a good deal of Blink Stalkers here. +3 Blink Stalkers, Immortals here in the mix. One does fall, the second one will. There's only one Infestor here with enough energy for a Fungal, and it's just running away right now, but there's a lot more Lings on the way. Zealot's being warped into Reinforce currently. I'm trying to get that Archon into position. It has 35 kills, quite brutal for an Archon. And right now I think that's the most valuable thing he can produce. He needs to get a Mothership out ASAP, but presently he's only on 3 base, and just as he's about to take his 4th, we can see that Sen has a Zergling there to take care of that. And speaking of 4th base, 5th base, etc., holy expos, Batman. Sen is just expoing to every extreme and catching the main force of IMSeed off guard. And now this is the last pylon line where we're going to see a warp in of 3-3 Zealots against 2-2 Lings that have adrenal glands. And now we see a couple of Archons getting sucker balled forward, and it looks like these Infestors are actually in some trouble just a teeny bit. But thus far only one of them falls, and that is to a single Zealot. Seed throws out GG, and he has been beaten this round on Entomb Valley. Of course, you never want to face a Zerg player on a map that's meant for macro. It's just not going to end well for whatever race you are, unless you are a Zerg. Alright guys, if you guys liked what you saw, go ahead and click the follow button on my YouTube channel. This was just really an amazing game to watch. My specialty is covering the Chinese as well as the Taiwanese scenes. This was actually, well, you know what? I can also cover the Asia scene. This was actually taken from the MSI Pro World Asia Cup. So I want to say thank you very much, Lou Ellis, for letting me cast this. This has been Breaker, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening.